currently in another country with his girlfriend that he's had for 2 years, and that he's cheating on my mom, and he was just here for Christmas, and he spent like all this time, and for some reason he doesn't want to get a divorce, but he literally lives at this woman's house, and this woman has kids, and they have like in a whole entire house, he has like a whole double life from our family, and he's out of the country for New Year's while my mom is basically just sitting at home and in such like emotional distress. She's in such like a terrible like mental state because of him. So he's still out of the country. And before he left, he decided to change my mom's phone number. They're on the same phone plan, whatever. And my mom has had the same phone number for literally 12 years. But he decided to change it. So me and my mom literally spent like a whole afternoon just for AT&T not to be able to help us. And then just for them to tell me to go call online. So we called online, and the guy on the service line was very helpful. So we got her number back, and then she put me and my sister and herself in a group chat where she decided to send a picture of my dad and his girlfriend, because up until now my dad has just denied all cheating accusations, even though my mom has literally went to Tahoe with where she found my dad and this woman on like a family vacation, and he still denies it. I don't understand why. I don't understand what the point in lying is at this point, but she decided to send a picture of both of them, and she decided to tell both of us her name and her address and that where he's at, and I was like, brief intermission, I can't find my mascara and it's driving me insane. Found it. Basically, once my mom sent this text, he was literally like, really? He literally said, really. That's the only thing he said. And he's still in another country. So my mom decided to do a really messed up thing. She asked me to text him saying that she's in the hospital. And I told her no. But my mom was like, he gets to mess up my life. I get to mess up his life. So she decided to text all of his mistress's daughters, basically saying that their mom is a homewrecker. And she also sent them pictures of our family. Also, I didn't end up texting my dad, so she ended up texting my dad saying that she was in the hospital while he was on a plane at LAX. And so I haven't talked to my dad, I haven't texted him at all, and every single day he has proceeded to tell me or text me, I love you and you are my world and everything. You're in a country with another woman. This is all literally just like a brief little story time. There is literally so much more to this story than I could even imagine. My family life is like a soap opera, and I sometimes literally can't even believe it. So, dad is currently in another country with his girlfriend that he's...
I want to say this, right? I saw this video, of course, and I want to say this. You know, whenever parents go through things, I don't want to say that it's not going to affect a child, because it is. You know, especially if a child has grown up with their two parents for like majority of their life and they've seen only the two of them, you know, to know that there is some kind of break between the two of them, or there's some kind of like, you know, discourse between the two of them. They're arguing, they're not getting along, they're not happy together, and like that dynamic changing can be definitely hurtful to the child. You know, it can also be hurtful to the child when, you know, somebody's feeling a certain way and they have to witness that and they have to be around that. So I don't want to negate that at all, and I don't want to act like that does not exist, right? That was a disclaimer. However, a lot of times these mothers are out here, and because they are not capable of dealing with their emotions by themselves, you know what they do? They try to round up the troops. They want to make sure that they have all the children on their side to the foolishness. Keep the children a part of the foolishness, because why is this young woman on TikTok talking about her dad as if he's a man who's cheating on her? She is making it seem like he is cheating on the family. And you know what's interesting? There's always more than one side to a story. But you know what's extremely interesting is that she is automatically having the conversation as if she knows the entire backstory of what's going on between the dad and the mom, not realizing that most dads do not sit down and have an in-depth conversation to their children about why it doesn't work with their mother. Most dads do not do that. They don't want to hurt the mom's persona to the children. They don't want to make the mom seem like the bad guy. They don't want to explain all of the entire situation of what it is that she's possibly done in the relationship. So they just move accordingly and try to keep the kids out of it. They keep the drama between them and the woman. But the woman does not do that. The mothers do not do that. Instead, they go out and they're like, oh, can you believe he did this? I didn't do nothing to him and he did and that. It's so stupid. You're involving your children in something that you know that there's more in-depth information to. That's number one. And two, you're causing a problem between them and their father, but also you're going to affect how they deal with men in the future because of your feelings and your situation. You're going to make it seem like it's an all men thing, not just their dad thing, and then you're going to be the same woman. Oh yeah, you can't trust these men because, you know, these men this and these men that. No, that's your situation. That's your story. Another thing that doesn't make any sense to me. This man been having this scenario for 2 years. You talking about he don't want to get divorced. You don't need him to want to if that's what you want to do. You can lawyer up and move accordingly. If he just came back home, listen to the foolishness. Because people talk and they don't realize that they're unveiling the story without saying certain things. This man has had this relationship for 2 years. He was just home for Christmas after he had been who knows where for however long. When he came back for Christmas, I guarantee that the mother was doing everything to try to convince him to stay. So it's not like this woman is like, oh no, he's a cheater, he can't come back to my house. That's not what it is. It's a competition and she's losing in the competition. That's her real problem. Oh, if I could just get him to stay and not go back to these women. When she's texting these women, when she's doing all this stuff, it's because she still wants the man. If he's so bad, if he's so horrible, if he's such a horrible husband, if he's not a good man, why are you fighting to keep him? Why are you going to the lengths of finding these women's phone numbers to try to convince them to leave him alone because you can't get him to leave them alone? That says that he's not a bad man after all because you want him. You want him. And there was a part in the story, this, you know, she talks for a little bit of time, but there was a part in the story where she's trying to get her child. Let me see if I can play it.
Dad is currently in another country with his girlfriend that he's had for 2 years, and that he's cheating on my mom, and he was just here for Christmas, and he spent like all this time, and for some reason he doesn't want to get a divorce, but he literally lives at this woman's house, and this woman has kids, and they have like in a whole entire house, he has like a whole double life from our family, and he's out of the country for New Year's while my mom is basically just sitting at home and in such like emotional distress. She's
in such emotional distress that you thought it was a good idea to tell her business to the whole world and tell how she's dealing with it to the whole world. Yeah, that's exactly what a mother who's quote unquote in emotional distress needs, is her daughter spreading all their information across the internet. That makes a lot of sense. That's not embarrassing at all.
like a terrible like mental state because of him. So he's still out of the country. And before he left, he decided to change my mom's phone number. They're on the same phone plan, whatever. And my mom has had the same phone number for literally 12 years. But he decided to change it. So me and my mom literally spent like a whole afternoon just for AT&T and not to be able to help us. And then just for them to tell me to go call online. So we called online, and the guy on the service line was very helpful. So we got her number back, and then...
Why did he change her phone number? We're not going to go into that, right? We're not going to go into why he changed her phone number. We're just going to act like this man just got up one day and changed her phone number that she's had for all these years out of nowhere. Why? Why would that make sense? Why would he do that? Of course we're not going to give the backstory on that because he's the bad guy. Dad is the bad guy.
Put me and my sister and herself in a group chat where she decided to send a picture of my dad and his girlfriend, because up until now my dad has just denied all cheating accusations, even though my mom has literally went to Tahoe with where she found my dad and this woman on like a family vacation, and he still denies it. I don't understand why. I don't understand what the point in lying is at this point, but she decided to send a picture of both of them, and she decided to tell both of us her name and her address.
You decided to give your daughters, you're unloading all of your emotions on them. You're making them feel what you feel. You want them to feel about their father the same way that you feel about your husband. And so you're putting them in this place, and then you send them her name and her address. Was it so that they could send her a postcard? What was the reasoning behind that? This is what I'm saying. You so big, bad, and bold that you went out of town and found them on a family vacation, but you didn't do nothing. Okay? But now you want to put your children in a space that hopefully one of them will take this stress up in their mind, on their backs, and go run and, the word I'm looking for is not coming to my mind, but you want them to go and deal with this situation on behalf of you to make you feel good, to make you feel better. Now, what if your children go over there and the situation doesn't pan out to their benefit and things go left? You're going to be on the outside. They're going to be in jail and you're going to be on the outside. Oh, I don't know. My daughters were just really upset because of what I was going through. You rather set them up. And that's the problem. A lot of children don't even realize when they're being used as pawns until it backfires and they look at their mom like, wait, why would you send me the address? What do you want me to do about this? Why am I getting involved? What does this have to do with me? Mom, you and dad need to figure this out. She's sending them the address. To do what? It can only be a couple of things.
And that where he's at, and I was like, brief intermission, I can't find my mascara and it's driving me insane. Found it. Basically, once my mom sent this text, he was literally like, really? He literally said, really? That's the only thing he said. And he's still in another country. So my mom decided to do a really messed up thing. She asked me to text him saying that she's in the hospital. And I told her no. But my mom was like, he gets to mess up my life. I get to mess up his life. So she decided to text all of his mistress.
Can you text your dad and lie to him for me? And tell him something horrible happened so that he has to leave those people and I can win the battle. So I can have him in my possession instead of them having him because I want him still. And she's like, no, I'm not doing that. If she would have took the bait for the address, then took the bait for the text message, can we imagine where this young woman would be right now? The only reason why at the end her dad is telling her, oh, I love you, I this and I that, is because he wants her to know that this is between me and your mother and it has nothing to do with me and you. Stay in your place. I don't have to love your mom, and just because I don't love your mom doesn't mean I don't love you. You're my child. I chose her. You came from me. That's two different things. That's what mama just she's running up the troops.
His daughters basically saying that their mom is a homewrecker, and she also sent them pictures of our family. Also, I didn't end up texting my dad, so she ended up texting my dad saying that she was in the hospital while he was on a plane at LAX.
Did that make him come home? Did that make him change his mind? Did that do anything that she thought that it was going to do by her telling him that she was in the hospital? No, because he's still out of town. He don't want you. It's clear. He want to be there for his kids. And based on, a lot of women get into this space and they're losing the man and they don't know what to do. So they start going to the extreme. Okay, well, I'm going to, go to this woman and tell her to leave you alone. Or I'm going to go over here and I'm going to tell them that. And they think that it's going to benefit them. And the only thing that it's doing is drawing a huger wedge between the two of you. Because now you're exuding all of this control. Oh, well, you don't want to be with me? I can control that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. That's not going to help you. That's only going to hurt the situation even more. Because whatever problems that you already had to begin with, you're only building on them. By calling this, that, doing this, doing that, you're making yourself look crazy. And you're hurting your kids. I understand hurt people, but when you're a parent, you have to separate the two. This is your emotions with your relationship. There's a lot of kids that grow up and they're like, oh my gosh, my parents, got divorced when we moved out of the house and I never even knew anything was wrong. Or my parents got divorced and I never even knew that the difference. Because they treated us the same. Everything felt the same. A lot of y'all can't do that. When that bitterness gets to you, you don't know how to act. You just go haywire and involve the kids and drag them down. Thinking that you're hurting the man and you're only hurting yourself and your children. It's not him who's hurting them, He's doing something. He has a part to play in it, but it's you who's inflicting the pain by going by step, trying to break them down so that they can feel how you feel. Because you don't want to feel it alone. It's selfish. It's very, very selfish. But I want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you.